Well, the Cold War has started again. In Asia, China is expanding its reach, making very friendly to a lot of little nations. Oh, well, yeah, well, let's see. Why we can build you a road on your island, or even railroad if you're on your island if you want to. You know, they're pouring a lot of money into the Pacific. Uh, they even have approached Guam. Why, we can build you buildings there. We can do this where the Americans won't do. They're very friendly. And they want to expand their military bases instead of having a coral island, which a lot of them do. It's a man-made islands. They wanted to actually be on islands. Yes. And they basically threatened the region is saying, well, when we make our push, and we will make our push, that thing. And, well, that's one of the reasons Australia has become very nervous and is building submarines. South Korea, because North Korea is rattling their little sabers. Japan sees that. And I've asked the United States to, we should do a lot more training together. You know, the Cold War, when it stopped, basically, there are many people in Japan say, tell the Americans to go home. Now, with China rattling their sabers, that thing, Vietnam, where used to be our enemy, are now our very close friends because they've dealt with the Chinese for the last 2,000 years. Chinese would invade Vietnam and back and forth. And remember, they went to war after they got kicked the U.S. out of the Vietnam. They went to war with China, and China kind of like backed down. Yeah, and the whole Vietnamese economy went into the toilet. And took them, and at a certain point, they decided to become capitalistic dogs, just like China did. They became capitalistic dogs. They realized is the only way they could. They had to find a place to dump their junk. Walmart. Yes, they needed a place to dump all their junk. They got to keep everybody busy. So yeah, But yes, when Putin invaded the Ukraine, in Europe, it brought back the Cold War. Before that, basically, NATO was dissolving. You know, who needs NATO? Even Donald Trump said, why are we in NATO? We don't need NATO. And I'm quite sure if he would have won the election again, but really won, because, you know, he would need 10 million people to vote for him in the last election. He lost by 7 million. I mean, he would have had to pick up 7 million people or more. But Russia, well, the whole thing started again. That's the whole thing. That's where a lot of our inflation is. That's where a lot of the world is. Too bad. That's really bad.